3, 2, 1. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. It is 2:01 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. We also have Vice Chair Commissioner Gary Edwards and Commissioner Carolina Mejia, as well as County Manager Ramiro Chavez in the boardroom and Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell joining us through our Zoom. Calling the meeting to order, we're going to begin with a Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Edwards.
And if you would join me, actually, Greg is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead, Greg. To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. We would also like to start today's meeting with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. I would entertain a motion regarding approval of today's agenda.
I would move to approve the agenda for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda is approved unanimously. I would entertain a motion regarding board meeting minutes from April 27th.
I would move to approve the board meeting minutes from April 27th, 2021.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye. Motion carries. Board meeting minutes from April 27th, 2021 are approved unanimously. Next is a pair of presentations, specifically proclamations. And the first one is a proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week. We have our Emergency Services Director, Kurt Harden, with us. And I will pass it to him and then let him introduce. I know we have some guests here today in connection with this proclamation. I'll let Kurt introduce them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Kurt Harden, Director of Emergency Services. And I would like to introduce with me Fire Commissioner and EMS Council Chair Stan Moon is here on the Zoom call, and also Fire Chief Steve Brooks from Lacey Fire District 3, and also the President of the Thurston County Fire Chiefs Association. Medic One was established by a vote of the public back in 1974. And our EMS system, Medic One is part of that, consists of 12 fire agencies, 2 private ambulance companies, 2 hospitals, 1 air ambulance company, emergency management, and TCOM, just to name a few. There are approximately or nearly 700 EMS personnel across Thurston County, including approximately 550 emergency medical technicians or EMTs and 65 paramedics. Nearly half of the EMS personnel here are volunteers that contribute over $10 million in EMS services on an annual basis. There's over 33,200 EMS dispatches or calls to 911 center in 2020, and that number is increasing, and we project that number to hit nearly 36,000 this year. I will turn this now over to Commissioner Stan Moon and the EMS Council Chair to say a few comments as well.
Thank you, Kurt. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Stan Moon. I reside at 8815 Marlene Court, Southwest Tumwater, Washington, 98512. As Mr. Harden said, I'm Fire Commissioner and the Commission Chair with Fire District 6 East Olympia, and I am Chair of the EMS Council. We're blessed in Thurston County to have one of the best EMS systems in the country. It's very important that we recognize and thank all of the hundreds of career and volunteer responders and medical professionals who made this so and are there for us 24/7 in our time of need. As Mr. Harden has pointed out, the numbers. This has especially been true this last year with all of the risks and challenges related to the pandemic. These dedicated men and women continue to step up for us in spite of the increased risk that they face daily. They are also very much appreciated, and we thank them for their dedicated services. And I thank you, commissioners, for making this proclamation for EMS Week. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Lacey Fire District 3 Chief Steve Brooks, who is president of the Thurston County Fire Chiefs Association and has a few comments as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moon, Director Harden, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Thank you for the opportunity to just say a few words. I will, first of all, just echo everything you heard from Director Harden and Commissioner Moon. We are privileged to work in a great system. I also have the privilege, besides serving as the fire chief at Lacey Fire District 3, as Director Harden also mentioned, I serve as the president of the Thurston County Fire Chiefs Association, representing all 12 of the fire and EMS agencies, along with our private partners and private ambulance and the hospitals that receive our patients. I am a transplant to this system. I've now been here almost 16 years, but having gotten to work in other systems, I can say with, I believe, relative certainty and some level of authority that we have a great system. And that is only made possible by the support that you as our elected officials provide for us, and because of the great members of our teams, both career and volunteer, that serve the citizens of Thurston County. You're, I'm sure, well aware that we had one of, if not the first, countywide true integrated systems, at least in the state of Washington, if not in the nation. And over these now well over 45 years, we've continued to perform at levels that far exceed the national averages in terms of outcomes and patient care. So we're very proud of that. And I appreciate the opportunity this week every year to recognize our great providers who serve our community, and especially as we're now well over a year into a pandemic. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the unique challenges that they've all had over this last year. And so, again, we appreciate the support that you provide to us to allow us to continue to serve the community. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today and for this resolution.
Commissioner Mejia, anything?
I just want to highlight what Commissioner Moon said in regards to these men and women putting their lives at risk, you know, even now during a pandemic, and how their services have been needed just during this time. It's just important how much these services are needed by our community. Thank you so much for all you do. I'm very proud to be doing this today. So just thank you again to all your staff and your team.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes, sir. I'm prepared to do a proclamation here in just a moment, but I would like to maybe ask, well, both Chief Brooks and Stan mentioned that we do exceptional work here in Thurston County, we in the EMS community. And what's the outcome? There's some spectacular outcome on your chances of survival here versus maybe other places on heart issues. Kurt, could you make mention of that? You know what it's kind of off the cuff here.
Yeah, what you're referring to is our cardiac arrest survival rate. And there's something called the Utstein criteria that measures EMS systems not only across the country, but internationally. And I apologize, I'm not prepared to say exact numbers because I don't have those in front of me. But Thurston County has long exceeded the national average when it comes to cardiac arrest survival rate within our county. And it's a testimony to our EMS providers out there, because we have that, as it was mentioned before, that integrated system where you have EMTs and paramedics who both are part of the team when responding to a cardiac arrest. And so that's what drives our survival rates. And so, yes, we're very proud of our survival rates, and we typically above the national average.
And I just bring that up because that's just one small barometer of the exceptionalism that is on display every day by all of our emergency medical services folks. And I want to thank you fellas for coming too. Anyway, sir, I'm prepared to make a proclamation when you're ready.
Okay, excellent. Just a moment. I just want to say thank you to Commissioner Moon and Chief Brooks. It means a lot to us to have esteemed guests of your stature in the community, and we thank you for the work you do and for being here to do this proclamation with us. I appreciated those comments, Chief Brooks, about kind of comparing us to other places you worked, and so that, you know, I appreciate hearing that, because that's good information. And I have a lot of pride in the system. I know how effective it's been, and what, you know, the statistics Commissioner Edwards was alluding to have been presented to me, and it's just something really for us to be proud of. And one of the things that Kurt has taught me since I've been on the board is about how critical it is to educate the public and teach the life-saving skills that, so that, you know, the public can buy time for our system to address the issues, and that really gives us a boost. We do a lot of work with those classes, and people, the volunteers that volunteer their time to put those on. I just want to give a plug for that, because I know how important that is in you know, enhancing our overall system statistics and saving lives in Thurston County. So glad we're doing this. And Commissioner Edwards, when you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay. Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service that provide life-saving and supporting care to the residents of Thurston County 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas emergency medical services teams, including emergency physicians, nurses, first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, educators, dispatchers, administrators, and others, give selflessly of themselves for the care and welfare of others. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continue to educate, continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas the people of Thurston County recognize the need for the initiated a countywide emergency medical services system in 1974, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize, honor, and promote the value of emergency medical services teams and the Thurston County Medic One Emergency Medical Services System by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaims May 16th through May 22nd, 2021 as Emergency Medical Services Week in Thurston County, and encourages all residents to join in this observance. Adopted this 4th day of May, 2021, your Board of County Commissioners. And normally we'd take a picture or clap, but we're restricted here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Chief Brooks. Thank you, Commissioner Moon.
Thank you.
Okay, our second proclamation for today is a proclamation for Military Appreciation Month. And I'll have the county manager start it off, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your consideration is to declare May 2021 Military Appreciation Month. The freedoms the United States enjoy today are a direct result of the United States Armed Forces and their personnel, along with their families and their support, which they have preserved the liberties that we have enriched. They have enriched this nation, making it unique in the world community. This proclamation before you is a small token of our appreciation to our active and retired armed force personnel. And with my deep appreciation, I just like to say thank you for all the sacrifices they have given to this nation. And I believe today we have two members of our county employers, our veterans. Mark Moffett is here, as well as, I believe, Brandon Frawley. And Vasil Borota as well as part of that. Can you reveal yourselves, put your video on, unmute yourselves? You'd like to say a couple of words? Mark? Brandon? There you go. Welcome, Mark.
We don't hear you, Mark.
Cannot hear you.
Doesn't show that it's muted, but it's not coming through.
You know, I have to tell you, Mark is currently helping manage one of our vaccination clinics, so he's on site working as we speak. And maybe a remote connection will have some difficulties. Maybe the board may consider reading the proclamation.
Okay, and then maybe we'll have some comments from others. I would like to point out that, you know, if it wasn't for our veterans, we wouldn't even be here. Veterans and the veterans' families made some tremendous sacrifices over the last several hundred years, and that's why we're here able to do the Pledge of Allegiance and conduct this meeting. So I have to refer to the chair, though. I don't want to jump the gun here. Chair, did we have any comments before? Or I'm ready when you are, sir.
Okay, I guess I'll turn to Commissioner Mejia and then anything you want to add.
No, yes, thank you so much for the service of the active members and for the veterans who have served. I mean, it's as an immigrant myself, it's always a pride for me to do something like this and appreciate our military. I have many family members who have served and who continue to serve, and it's just a great pride to uphold this country and to serve, honestly. So thank you for your sacrifice.
I would echo those comments and point out, I believe Commissioner Edwards can correct me if I'm wrong, but Thurston County is a Purple Heart County. And is it accurate that we were the first in the state of Washington? I seem to remember it happened before I was on the board, so I seem to remember that, but we were one of the first, if not the first. And we're proud of that. There we go. Commissioner Edwards has got the sign. We always used to put that out when we were in the boardroom. And yeah, the military service members are such a huge part of Thurston County community.
Sir.
Our proximity to
You
the
read the
military.
proclamation, I hold the sign.
Partly in Thurston County and partly in Pierce County, but many, many residents, many participants that are residents of our county, and we're proud of them. And we're proud of that designation that Ramiro's holding up. And with that, let's go to our proclamation. And then if we've got connection with Mark, we'll get to him.
Okay. Military Appreciation Month. Whereas the freedom and security residents of the United States enjoy today are a direct result of the bloodshed and continued vigilance given by the United States Armed Forces over the history of our great nation. And whereas the sacrifices that such members of the United States Armed Forces and the family members who support them have preserved the liberties that enrich this nation. And whereas in 2004, the United States Congress passed a resolution proclaiming May as National Military Appreciation Month, calling all Americans to remember those who gave their lives in defense of freedom and to honor all armed services veterans and active duty members together with their families. And whereas the month of May was selected for this proclamation because we celebrate Loyalty Day, Victory in Europe Day, Military Spouse Appreciation Day, Armed Forces Day, and Memorial Day. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaims May 2021 as Military Appreciation Month in Thurston County and encourage all residents to show their greatest appreciation for our military. Adopted this 4th day of May, 2021, your Board of County Commissioners. And thank you, County Manager, for putting that up there.
Yeah, leave that up there. There you go. Mark, did we get you connected or no?
You tell me.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. All right. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you for your patience. As Ramiro said, I am out at a vaccination site, a pop-up, so connection is a little spotty, and I apologize for that. But thank you very much for taking the opportunity to recognize our military members within our community. There are over 30,000 of us veterans here in Thurston County alone. And I always say that the veterans are the ones that get to go out and do all the fun stuff when we're active. And it's the family that we really need to recognize, because they are the ones at home and they're worried about what we're doing and if we're going to come home. And so I really, and Commissioner Edwards mentioned it in the proclamation, that we need to thank our families especially. And I really appreciate you taking the opportunity today for this.
Did you say there was another representative, Mark or Ramiro? Brandon?
Yeah, I think we have Brandon Frawley and Lucille Barota. Do you want to speak?
I would like to just say thank you as well, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Lucille?
Bill.
Maybe not.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody.
One moment.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me still?
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Mark? Okay. Thought he was absent to wait. Okay, let's move to what's listed as item 1, opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public at meetings. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate. Please introduce yourself when called and give us your name and the area of the county in which you reside. Address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. The board does not respond directly to public comment, but the county manager on an as-needed basis will follow up with specific items. You'll have 4 minutes. That time cannot be donated to another speaker. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to comment for good cause. No comments that are lewd or offensive, inflammatory, defamatory, hateful, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind. Comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business, or remarks about pending land use permits, or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Finally, all materials provided to the county are subject to disclosure, considered public records, pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 RCW. I have 3 names on my sign-up sheet. I'll call the first 2, and then so you'll know there'll be a in between speakers, there'll be a cleansing of the microphone and podium. Give time for that to happen. And then we'll go to Zoom and conference call if there are any commenters there. The first name is Jeff Letourneau, and on deck is Gregory Moe.
Go ahead, sir. Please.
Hi, my name's Jaffe Letourneau, and I live at Chambers Estates and on the airstrip Hoskins Field. And we have been somewhat unfairly treated by Lacey in the sense that they attached us to the Capitol Golf Course community to annex both the Capitol Golf Course and our development as well. Our development is 47 lots, 4 of which Lacey has paperwork that they have given their power of attorney to Lacey. The rest of us, the 43 others, really don't want to become Lacey. We much prefer being County Olympia or Thurston County, and you guys are doing a great job for us. We don't need to be Lacey. We have no desire to be annexed. They have not really dealt with us, talked to us, although they claim that they have annexed us by petition. We never petitioned to be annexed. We're being shoved in with the 400 houses that are in the Capitol Golf Course community because those people are getting something for their annexation. They're getting sewer and drainage. We're getting nothing. We would like to just not be part of the annexation. I am the vice president of the association, the homeowners association. The president of the homeowners association did talk with the Lacey board on April 1st at the meeting they had, although they did not have it as, they had it as a Zoom meeting, but they didn't have to have it as a Zoom meeting. But they did have it as a Zoom meeting, and so we were only represented by our president of our association, and so they kind of blew him off. They basically said, oh, only one person's complaining, so it's over. And they did that. Now, he had surveyed about 50% of the people in our development. We would really like to vote for or against annexation. I don't think we're being treated fairly. Michael Stedman agrees we're not being treated fairly or equitably, and I leave it at that. I have talked with people who know I've already talked to. So I'm not sure what you guys can do, but I sure wish you'd do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chair, could I ask for clarification from the speaker, please?
Sure, go ahead.
And Mr. Stedman that you mentioned is a city council member.
Yes, he is, and he
Lacey, right?
the annexation.
Okay. Thank you.
Also was raised in our neighborhood.
Okay.
And it's just, he knows more about us than anybody else on the board. And the board obviously has this feeling that they can annex anything they want and leave you guys with anything they want, don't want.
Okay.
And in our case, we don't want.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So Gregory Moe is next. John Pettit is on deck.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Gregory Moe. I live in Northeast Thurston County. As you're aware, we currently have an extreme shortage of housing opportunities in Thurston County. Currently, as of about 1 o'clock this afternoon, there are 160 homes, including condominiums, on the market in Thurston County, in all of Thurston County. That's the lowest I've seen it in my 23 years as a realtor at Windermere Real Estate. Besides the recent run-up in lumber prices, which is adding an additional $10,000 to $20,000 to the cost of a single-family home, of the supply side dynamics, there are three things that can be done to increase the supply of attainable housing in Thurston County. Please note, one is we can increase the amount of buildable land inventory by reducing onerous land use regulations. Number two, we can reduce the cost and number of government permissions and permits. For example, multiple building permits for the same style house in a subdivision or same style homes by the same builder. Number three, we can reduce the time involved in the permitting and approval process for projects in neighborhoods. Remember, time is money. Builders have carrying costs during the current lengthy permit application and approval process. They have building material costs, including the interest on the loans and infrastructure installation costs, et cetera. So please do things to increase the amount and the supply of attainable housing in Thurston County. And I'm available for questions. You guys know how to get in touch with me. Thank you.
John Pettit is next, and there's no one else signed up. We'll go to other boardroom folks after Mr. Pettit, and then to the Zoom.
My name is John Pettit. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm going to talk about a few different issues. And first, I'm going to comment some about what a gentleman earlier was referring to with the Lacey annexation. Now, Lacey is annexing several potential areas. One is the Capital City Golf Course, and of course, they're trying to reach over and grab Chambers Estates there. There's another one directly over off of just to the north of that area, a little single piece of property that someone requested. And then there's some other area out by Stillicum Road. The fact is that in the case of the Chambers situation, the gentleman is 100% correct. What has happened there is that there was basically, as I would view it, and I spoke at the Lacey City Council long ago, there was a gifting of public funds for the purpose of providing to hook up more people for sewer. Now that development's been in since 1962. I have the well test and the results, and there has been no indication of pollution in any respect to the water well at Capitol City Golf Course. So this perpetration of that we're polluting the aquifer when we're not even using the top aquifer, we're going down through a second aquifer, is kind of a perpetration of something I believe not to be true. But the city always likes to have more utilities to sell. Well, I think that the one thing that you as commissioners probably could do is a line that you separate Capitol City Golf Course and Chambers. You let Capitol City Golf Course be annexed based upon the petition of their 60% rate. And you let Chambers have the opportunity as a separate annexation and let them vote for it. It seems appropriate. I mean, they're taxpayers. They live there, they've been there. And they ought to have a chance to be treated better than, well, you're next to us and we can absorb you, so we're just going to, even if we don't want to let you vote. So I didn't like that. A couple other comments I'm going to make about a couple other issues. I kind of live with this particular saying, which is actions speak louder than words. So I was kind of concerned seeing that the county's planning on spending probably over the next 7 years or so about $30 million for a rental facility for a number of its offices. But you know what they haven't done? They haven't chose to spend even $2 million on this courthouse complex to get it fixed up in any recent time. That's an obligation of the commissioners as an elected position to maintain the current facilities. You want to get public input? Let's go ahead and have a meeting to the public and actually let the public voice their opinion about whether they want to have you spend all this money on a facility you don't own, or you want to be able to fix up what you have. The fact is that property was bought by the gentleman who owns it currently that you're planning to move to for $4.5 million. You plan on spending over $2.5 million a year in rent. What a deal. I can see somebody going to go live and retire in Cancun or something. I have real concerns about all of that. So I want you to try to get that going in a proper way. My other quick thing about actions speak louder than words. Did you notice you don't have any time to work on the public meeting ordinance? None. It goes by month after month. This is not an acceptable level of effort towards a very important cause to get to hear the voice of the people. Thank you.
Ramiro, is there any other folks in the boardroom who may have joined after I was provided to sign up the list?
No, I don't see anybody in the boardroom. Let me check the Zoom. I don't recognize anybody in the Zoom meeting who would like to provide public testimony, but please reveal yourself if you'd like to do so. No, sir, let me check the conference call. Good afternoon. For those members of the public who have joined us via conference call this afternoon, if you would like to provide public testimony, please unmute yourself, introduce your name, where you reside in the county. You have 4 minutes. None, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the county manager's update, item 2.
Yeah, thank you. And this may be related to what Mr. Pettit's recent testimony related to the proposed ordinance the board was considering or is considering amending Chapter 2.02, and that is related to the related regular meetings and special meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. There is a current litigation regarding this matter, and the board at this point is going to hold and making any decisions related to this ordinance until this particular litigation is settled and see the results of that. So that is the update that I have related to this particular ordinance. That you did hold a public hearing on April 13, and at this point, this item will not be coming again for your final consideration until we know the outcome of the current litigation related to this matter. The second item also related to Mr. Pettit. He provided last week some information related to the Veterans Fund. What I will do is I will forward that information to Mark Moffett. He is the program manager of the Veterans Fund, as well as to the advisory committee. You also received public testimony from Mrs. Storm, and she provided additional questions. I don't have answers to her questions today, but I certainly will follow up next week and provide answers to her questions. That's all I have for you today.
Thank you. Questions for the county manager?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, let's turn to the consent agenda. We have 4 items, items 3A through 3D. Is there a motion regarding consent items?
Yes, sir. I'd move to approve consent items A through D.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the consent agenda?
No,
No,
sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Takes us to item 4, ordinance for property taxes for Medic 1 levy.
Yeah, thank you, commissioners. You took an action to pass ordinance number 16008 after you received public testimony on April 13, 2021, which you, through the ordinance, you were planning to place Medic 1 emergency medical care and services changes on the levy in front of the voters on the August 3rd, 2021 special election. Following that adoption of the ordinance, we got contacted by the Department of Revenue, where they provided additional feedback on this particular ordinance. And we have provided to you a revised ordinance that addresses 2 elements. One is to take into account the comments that we received from the Department of Revenue. And secondly, affirms, I believe, the decision of the board, the exempting seniors, veterans, and disabled individuals as part of the ballot language. Kurt Harding is here to add additional perspective to this matter and provide any information.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Again, Kurt Harding, Director of Emergency Services. The county manager summed it up fairly well. And this is, I think we look at it as a technical correction to the original resolution that was put in place on April 13th.
Questions for Kurt, Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir. I think we've had a lot of briefings in regards to this matter.
Commissioner Edwards?
I'm prepared to make a motion, sir.
Okay, I'm ready for that motion. Go ahead.
I would move to rescind ordinance number 16008 and approve an ordinance relating to regular property taxes and authorizing Medic 1 to add the ballot measure to the August 3rd, 2021 primary election.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion?
Yes, sir, there is.
Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
I would just like to take this opportunity. We just recently recognized all the emergency medical folks, and you've heard that we are an exemplary group here in Thurston County. And I think that's why the EMS Council decided to move this forward. I just want to point out to the public, as we move this forward, all of the complicated process and review that went into this. It gave me a headache reading it all over last night. And, but the end result is it's going to benefit the public when and if this passes, so we can continue our exceptional EMS process here in Thurston County that is second to none. We're actually the best there is around, and I'm ready to move forward on a motion or I'm ready to vote on the motion. Thank you, sir.
Yep, we've got a motion that's moved and seconded. Anything else, Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Okay, I would just like to thank we had input from the Department of Revenue folks who took it upon themselves to help us make tighten up some aspects of the ordinance. We had some good input from our county assessor, Stephen Drew. I'd like to thank him as well. And we were able to work with our attorneys to get this, I think, dialed up in a better way. And again, it's very technical what we changed, nothing substantive, but important from a legal standpoint, I suppose. So it's been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Takes us to 4B, call for sealed bids for the official county newspaper for 2020-2021.
Thank you, Commissioners. RCW 36.72075 requires the counties annually select an official county newspaper. And the official county newspaper is where we post all official county legal notices and any additional information related to the county business. This particular item is for you to consider approving the call for sealed bids to get requests and proposals for a county newspaper, and the term will be from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
So in fact, the description under the item is incorrect. Is that right? It says 2020, 2021. But the term looks like it's July 2021.
Yes, thank you. The description is off. Yeah, thank you. But the action is correct.
Action is correct. Okay, very good. Any questions from board members on this item before we?
Yes, I didn't get that clarification.
On the description, sir, of the item, it states 2020, 2021.
Okay.
It should be 2021, 2022. But the action that you may consider is correct.
Oh, okay. Good enough. That's what I was wondering if I needed to change. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to approve. Scratch that. I would move to approve the call for sealed bids for the official county newspaper for the term of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Commissioner Mejia,
Vote.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye, motion passed. Thank you. Next is Public Health and Social Services, 5A, interagency agreement with the Department of Ecology.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. This particular item is for you to consider enter into interagency agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology to receive a grant of $25,000 for implementation of an educational outreach pilot project to reduce the sources of flame retardant in households. Chris Hawkins is here to walk you through the technical elements of this particular proposal.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I hope my audio is coming through okay. Great. Yes, the Department of Ecology is offering this funding from its National Estuary Grant Program. It's partnering with local jurisdictions to carry out education aimed at changing Washington residents' behaviors that will reduce their exposure to and the release of harmful flame retardant chemicals, and among those being polybrominated diphenyl ethers, PBDEs, primarily in the indoor environment, and then preventing their release into our waterways like Puget Sound. The health department through our current staff in education and prevention team. We'll deliver environmental health education and outreach that's designed to affect those behaviors in household cleaning and hand washing among local residents, with the aim of reducing those exposures and the release of those chemicals into our environment. And this will accompany our existing Healthy Homes program work led by education outreach specialist Elisa Sparkman. She did a great job of pulling together this partnership with the Department of Ecology, and we'll continue that great work in Healthy Homes. And this would add to and enhance that effort, being able to distribute some HEPA filter vacuums to local residents who participate, and we'll be measuring the effectiveness of that effort in reducing those sources of flame retardant chemicals. So we are asking for your approval today of this interagency agreement that would offer us $25,000 over roughly the next year and a half. The duration is from February 22nd, 2021, or the date of signing, which I think will be later, the later date. So that's probably when it will be effective, through until December 15th, 2022. And look forward to your consideration of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to approve an interagency agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology. The agreement is number C 2100064 for the duration of February 22nd, 2021 to December 15th, 2022 for a total of $25,000 for implementation of an education and outreach pilot study to reduce sources of flame retardants in households, and to authorize the Public Health and Social Services Department Director to sign the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, commissioners.
Next is Public Works. There's 3 items. 6A is a request for proposal for materials testing and inspection services on-call consultant contract.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Scott Lindblom, County Engineer with Public Works. The first item for your consideration this afternoon is a request for authorization to issue a RFP, or request for proposal, for material testing and inspection services to support our Public Works capital construction program. Public Works has a robust construction program over the next few years, as identified in our current capital improvement program and our current transportation improvement program. Because these projects make improvements to public infrastructure using public funds, it's our responsibility to be sure improvements are built to the latest rigorous standards using high quality materials. As part of our quality assurance, we require testing the materials that are used in our projects, such as asphalt, soil compaction, soil testing, and concrete testing. This testing must be done by certified staff or by certified firms. Because Thurston County does not have the resources, staff, equipment, or a lab to perform the testing and inspection, these services must be contracted. Current and past practice for acquiring these services has been to solicit services per project or group of projects. This strategy is not efficient because it is repetitious, entails more staff effort, more administrative efforts, and creates a higher risk of delay in construction completion if these testing services can't be procured in a timely manner. So today, Public Works is requesting the Board of County Commissioners approve soliciting for material testing and inspection services for a on-call consultant contract. The scope of services is broad and comprehensive and will support all Public Works projects, the roads, bridges, municipal, and other. The proposed term of the contract is a maximum of 6 years, consisting of a 2-year base and 2 2-year renewal options. The maximum ceiling amount will be $250,000 initially, with opportunities for increases in future years if needed. That ceiling amount is based on a projection of projects scheduled for award this year and next year that will require these services. Funds will be obligated upon issuance of work orders and paid from approved project budgets. Public Works intends to award one on-call contract for these services to a qualified consultant firm after a thorough evaluation of proposals through a competitive process. This action is in alignment with the county's strategic plan, Initiative 8, to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and Initiative 14 to strengthen sound financial management practices. And with that, I open it up to any questions you may have.
Questions for Scott?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I've covered this a couple of times. Thank you, Scott. Entertain a motion.
I would move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for proposal for materials testing and inspection services on an on-call basis to support quality assurance of Public Works construction projects.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Call for
No,
the vote.
sir.
Go ahead, call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 6B is a resolution and call for sealed bids for 2021 overlay project and for Rainier Road overlay project.
Scott.
So good afternoon again, Commissioners. Still Scott Lindblom, County Engineer with Public Works. The second item for your consideration today is a request to call for sealed bids for the 2021 pavement overlay contract. This request would approve a resolution and call for the bids for not only the county's 2021 overlay project, but also for the City of Rainier's Rainier Road overlay project as well. This year, the overlay project consists of nearly 20 miles of roads in the southeast and southwest quadrants of the county, including 1 mile of Vale Road, starting at the south end, and the full length of Vale Cutoff Road, Vale Loop Road, Prather Road, and Michigan Hill Road in the southwest, in addition to a portion of Churchill Road southeast. The project includes grinding 2 inches of existing asphalt and paving using a fiber reinforced asphalt in the Vale area, and overlaying 2 inches of asphalt on top of the existing asphalt for the remaining roads. The overlay project is expected to extend the life of these paved roads for up to 20 years. The estimated total cost for the construction contract for the county's portion is about $5.2 million and would be paid from both the county road fund and the second quarter percent of the real estate excise tax. The City of Rainier's project includes pavement repairs and an overlay of Rainier Road Southeast within the city limits. The City of Rainier will benefit from the lower unit prices, basically getting an economy of scale by partnering with the county's larger overlay project. This work is done through a signed master interlocal agreement with the City of Rainier. The City of Rainier secured a grant from the Transportation Improvement Board, which will be used to fund their component of the project. The contract will be advertised in the Olympian, the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce newspapers, as well as posted on the Builders Exchange website. This project is in the current Public Works budget, the Transportation Improvement Plan, and the Capital Improvement Plan, and is also in alignment with the county's strategic plan, Initiative 8, to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving economy. And I would welcome any questions you may have.
Questions on this project? Scott?
No, sir.
No questions. We've covered it a bunch. Thanks.
Okay, I don't have any either, so I would entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the resolution and call for sealed bids for the 2021 overlay project, CRP number 98221, and for the Rainier Road overlay project, CRP number 98410.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We have one more public works item. Resolution for temporary closure of Gate Road Southwest between 152nd Avenue Southwest and Hunter Road Southwest.
Good
Ryan
afternoon,
Blazer
Commissioners.
here.
Can you
Go
hear me
ahead, Ryan.
okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Blazer. I am a civil engineer in the Department of Public Works. For your consideration today is a request to authorize the county engineer to temporarily close a portion of Gate Road Southwest between 152nd Avenue Southwest and Hunter Road Southwest. This road closure will expedite construction of the Gate Road Fish Barrier Removal Project. 2 separate fish barrier structures are being replaced as part of this project, and the road closure is specifically for the tributary to Mima Creek crossing. While we do all we can to avoid closing a road for our projects, this crossing site does not have a good place to build a temporary bypass road. Immediately upstream of the site is a steep hill that would require cutting into it for a significant distance for a bypass road. And immediately downstream of the site is the continuation down of that steep slope that would require filling in for a significant distance for a bypass road. In either situation, constructing a bypass road would require clearing a large amount of vegetation and would essentially gut this area of the sensitive fish and wildlife habitat that we are trying to preserve and enhance with this project. The temporary closure will be in effect for 7 calendar days between July 16th and September 15th of this year. This time frame is called the fish window, and it is the permitting window established by the Department of Fish and Wildlife for when work is allowed within the stream below the what's called the ordinary high water mark. This closure will allow the contractor to have full access to the site for excavation, removal of the old culvert, and installation of the new culvert and stream bed, and road construction. Temporarily closing the road is the safest, least expensive, and quickest option to successfully complete the project within this fish window. A detour route will be established and will be about 10 miles and will take approximately 13 minutes. However, the actual travel delay is only about 11 minutes because the average time to travel through a single lane bypass road is about 2 minutes. In addition, according to a preliminary estimated construction schedule, the public would experience delays for 6 weeks with the bypass road, but with your approval of a temporary road closure, the public will only experience delays for the 1 week that the road is closed. Earlier this year, the board gave approval to award a contract for purchasing the bridge and box culvert needed for this project, and those structures are actually being fabricated as we speak. This project also is in the current public works budget, current transportation improvement program, and the current facilities plan, the capital facilities plan. It is also in alignment with the county strategic plan initiative 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and initiative 9 to support environmental health and climate stabilization. And I now open it up if there are any questions.
Questions for Ryan?
No questions. I feel this issue has been briefed a lot. Hopefully the closure doesn't happen during when we start back up with schools, but it is going to be what it's going to be, right?
Definitely.
No questions, sir.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the resolution authorizing the county engineer to temporarily close Gate Road Southwest between 152nd Avenue Southwest and Hunter Road Southwest for up to 7 calendar days between July 16th and September 15th.
Second.
2021. Got it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye. Motion carries. Good to go, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 7 is standing items, starting with commissioners' reports on community activities, work sessions, committee assignments, as the commissioner sees fit. Start with Commissioner Mejia.
So I went to a JASCOM tour on Friday, and That's the Animal Services Department, and I got to see a little bit more of what their processes are and what the needs are there. And it was really insightful to really see what's going on and see all the animals that are currently there. Definitely wanted to bring a couple home with me, but I don't think my husband would approve. And the JASCOM meeting was yesterday. Nothing much to report on there. Everything's going, I think, as planned from what I had reported previously. Other than that, I don't think I have any other commissions. I have a lot of committees coming up this week. I've just been answering constituent emails and requests.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, nothing on the boards to report of consequence. Lots of constituent calls and emails and the normal COVID-19 virus issues and water quality. So that'll do it for me. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, I got to get out from behind my computer twice. Once to attend the pre-apprenticeship construction boot camp graduation of the new group. This was a program, a free training program for young people trying to turn their lives around. And not just young people, there was an older gentleman as part of the group too. Commissioner Mejia was there as well, but we were over at the Lacey Makerspace, which I hadn't seen at before, and that was a pretty neat spot. And there were 10 graduates for that program. They're going to be now well qualified to move into apprenticeship through labor unions or other similar programs. And they each told their personal stories. So that was pretty neat event. Also got a chance to go to the grand opening of the new location for the Tumwater Farmers Market. And good to see musicians out performing live for the first time in a while. And get outside on a very sunny day. We had a very strong attendance for that, parked many blocks away. So that was great. I also had a chance to represent Thurston County on a League of Women Voters panel discussion on Wednesday evening. The topic was accessing local government. And there was a representative from Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, and Thurston County answering citizen questions about how different ways in which the public interacts with local government and how to make that more meaningful. And then I attended the state's salmon recovery conference, only pieces of it because my schedule was so tight, but with the everything being on Zoom, I was able to catch bits and pieces on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, including some good information on related to water quality and follow up on that issue I reported on earlier about the tires, and a lot of good scientific information available there. So with that, we'll go to item 7B, which is the county manager reporting on our combined schedule.
Yeah, thank you, commissioners. Let me walk you through your upcoming week on where at least 2 commissioners will be present, and you may have individual appointments on your individual calendars, so will not be part of my report. Soon after this meeting, can you please remain? We discussed this morning perhaps to do a public service announcement related to vaccines. So I have worked with your PIO, we have a script, and he will go to your individual offices for you to record that public service announcement. And we'll connect with you, Commissioner Mejia, via Teams, so you can record yours. We'll send a script ahead of time. So that will happen here after this meeting, so with your indulgence. Moving on to Wednesday, May 5th, tomorrow at 10:30, you have the opportunity to welcome new employees to Thurston County government. And this week is pretty light. Nothing on Thursday, May 6th, nothing on Friday, May 7th. Then moving on to Monday, May 10th, you have at noon your regular Washington State Association of Counties virtual assembly. And you will convene back here on May 11, Tuesday at 9 a.m. During your agenda setting, reviewing the agenda for that afternoon's meeting, and as well as the following week's meeting. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.